Certainly the field has the credentials. 8 millionaires, including that one, Silver Charm, is trainer Bob Baffert. White hair on the right, who has become such a familiar figure at the Triple Crown races in recent years, and already has a 1-2 finish in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies today, making the walk over with Silver Charm. And Skip Away, you can see the twin spires in the background as he has begun his walk from the stable area over to Churchill Downs itself. And look at the size on Skip Away. And Mike Smith last year at Hollywood Park, who rode Skip Away to victory in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He is a big horse and a horse with a mind of his own.
He certainly is. I remember the first time I got on this horse, Tom. It was like climbing into a king-size bed. I mean, you could just lay all over him. He's got big old broad shoulders, a big old neck, and just a powerful horse.
But you don't want to fight with him, do you? He wants to run early, and that's where you have to place him.
Definitely. You know, you got to get him running out of the gate, and then after that, I mean, he takes over, and he makes one of them secretariat kind of moves. He'll make a big old long move from about the 5.5 and just keep on running. Not too many horses can do that.
A lot of people think he is the horse of the year no matter what happens today, but Bob Baffert has made a case for Silver Charm. He says if Silver Charm wins this race today, that he deserves to be horse of the year. You see Bob Newmeyer walking along there with Bob Baffert, and let's go to Bob. Bob and Bob.
Thanks, Tom. Well, Mr. Baffert, you made this walk last year with this horse as a 3-year-old, and he won the most traditional race in racing. Now you're walking up with a horse that can win the richest race in racing.
No,
what's the difference?
This is about money today. The other one's about history, but it's a different feeling. It's more of a relaxed feeling. When we went up for the Derby, it was more like you get one shot at the Derby, you know. So, but this is very important to us, and I just hope he shows up and runs his race, because if not, but we love him dearly, and I think he's going to show up today.
Pardon me being a little out of breath. I just had to breeze 4 furlongs to catch up with you here on the backside. But if you beat Skippy today, Bob, do you deserve to be horse of the year?
I don't know. You know, I don't get to vote, and that's something, you know, Skip Away, he's done so much, and I think we have to win it first and then ask me that later.
You know, Sonny and you have had your war of words all year long, and Sonny says you've been ducking him. He put out his schedule. He had the grade 1s in mind. It was going to be Suffolk Downs. It was going to be Monmouth. It was going to be Pimlico, and you didn't show up for any of them. You think that's a fair charge that you ducked him all year?
No, it was when I got back from Dubai, that's when he wanted to run against. He knew we were knocked out, tired, so... but I think it was more the press building up more than anything, but he knew there was no way I would show up.
Feelings with you and Sonny at all? Or, I mean, I know you don't know each other that well. You're from different coasts, different styles, different personalities.
No, I've been getting along with him pretty good. I like Sonny. He's a very good horse trainer. He's done a great job with that horse, and we've talked about it. We're still friends, but he's starting to enjoy it a little bit more. He wish he would have gotten more involved with it.
Do you think he's a better horse now, the Charm, now that he's a year older? He's a little more mature than the guy you walked over the first Saturday in May last year?
Well, if he would have been the horse today, I wouldn't have been so nervous for the Derby that day. But the older he gets, you know, the better he's going to get, and I just hope we get a good run, and I'm really pumped up for it.
Well, congratulations as Baffert's whipping up his minions here at Churchill Downs. I got to tell you, this is...
My fans!
This is quite an experience for me. I've never quite walked over like this with the Twin Spires and this amazing Churchill Downs. It's
great horse racing in Louisville. You love him.
Oh, Michael. Good luck, Bob.
All right, thank you.
Bob Baffert walking to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Tom?
All right, Bob Newmeyer. By the way, we timed your half-mile breeze with an hourglass earlier. We're getting ready for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Skip Away and Silver Charm. For over 100 years, the fabled Twin Spires of Churchill Downs have been mute witnesses to racing history. Today, a new chapter will be added to the rich lore of the Downs as one of the finest fields in the history of the sport takes the track for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Skip Away is here, looking for a classic repeat and the all-time money-winning title. Silver Charm returns to the track where he won the Kentucky Derby, and Bob Baffert hopes to bask in glory once more. But But Churchill Downs is only the first stop on the road to the Triple Crown. In 1997, Silver Charm had the Triple Crown in his sights. But in racing, nothing is automatic, and Touch Gold ended the dreams in the Belmont Stakes. And Touch Gold is here today with last year's Breeders' Cup training hero, Patrick Byrne. The stage is set for a monumental battle. In a place where every generation of the thoroughbred is raised and nurtured with just this sort of moment in mind. For some, it was almost their birthright to be here. For others, it was costly, $800,000 for gentlemen to race today. History remains to be written in the Breeders' Cup Classic. The Twin Spires of Churchill Downs, the backdrop for one of the great races in thoroughbred history, the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. The richest race ever run, and with a quality field that has rarely been assembled in a horse race anywhere in the world. Record crowd over 80,000 on hand to witness it, and a definite buzz as the horses make their way to the paddock in anticipation of the race. Let's take a look at the odds. Now, there is a 3-horse entry coupled in the betting because of some common ownership. Awesome again, Coronado's Quest and Touch Gold. 3-horse entry at 7-2. Victory Gallop, Belmont winner, 9-2. Swain from Europe, 5-1. The Europeans have not won a race today. Arts, late developing 3-year-old, 25-1. Skip Away at 2-1. Running Stag is 80-1. Silver Charm, 7-2. And Gentleman is 9-1. So Skip Away is the 2-1 favorite, even though Silver Charm had opened as a slight betting choice in the morning line odds made by track handicapper Mike Battaglia. So Skip Away and Sonny Hine, the favorites. Well, most people see this coming down to a pair of grays, Skip Away and Silver Charm, Hine and Baffert, traditional versus new age.
I think my training style is, there's no secret. I live by the seat of my pants, and I train by the seat of my pants.
He doesn't come in normally early in the morning. He enjoys life a little more. I've never taken 3 days off or taken any vacation.
Some writer from New York showed up, and he said, Sonny Hine called you a coward.
I never said he was a coward.
These horses are like our children. You know, it's like my kid's better than your kid.
But he hasn't been running against the caliber of horses we've been running with all year.
You know, he wanted that horse of the year so bad since last year. And Silver Charm, you know, we wanted it too, and here we are. We get to decide on the racetrack where it needs to be decided. I believe in karma. I believe in fate.
It's been a dream for 4 years for us, and he's been a blessing.
For me personally, I would say Skip has gotten rid of my butterflies. Skip has put a smile on my face. Skip has put a song in my heart.
And there is Skip Away, and all the talking stops now, and the running will begin shortly. Mike Battaglia is with Sonny Hine.
Sonny, I know this got to be a tough time for you. Skip Away's last race. Give me your feelings just as you're putting the saddle on today.
Yeah, not talk. I just sort of broken up about it all. It's you know, the race isn't so important as the horse. And,
how's he coming into the race, though? You've got him training great.
oh, he trained to a T. Probably one of the best jobs I've done, and hopefully it'll reflect in the race. You know.
And I know you got to be sad this being the last race, but he's been such a great horse.
Oh, he's just been wonderful to my wife and I, and it's just a dream. He's a horse with a tremendous amount of courage, and I hope the world recognizes it, you know, win or lose. He's a great horse.
Win, lose, or draw, Skip Away is a great horse, and he deserves his due. Bob?
I'm down in the paddock with Dee Hubbard. He's the CEO of Hollywood Park, and he had an interesting decision to make. He is the primary owner of Gentleman. This race is not about Skip Away and Silver Charm alone. It is about Swain. It is about the Pat Byrne Envy. It is certainly about Gentleman. This gentleman, Dee Hubbard, had to put up with his partners because of the supplement rule here in the Breeders' Cup. $800,000 to run in the world's richest race. Dee Hubbard, how did you manage that decision?
Well, Bob, a year ago, the horse was the #1 horse in the country at the time, and he got sick. We were going to pay the penalty then. It was going to cost us $800,000 then. We've always wondered what would have happened if he'd have been able to go, and he's back to his old form. He's just getting better every race, and we made the decision that we should give it a shot. And you know, we would always wonder what would have happened if we hadn't have done it. And this is the greatest race in the history of the Breeders' Cup, and we wanted to be part of it.
Well, is he crazy or is he a brilliant businessman? I guess he's been called both over the years, but there's the horse, gentlemen, and that's the task at hand, to try and win the richest race, the Breeders' Cup Classic. Dee Hubbard. Tom?
Bob, and there is Corey Nakatani approaching Gentleman, who is 9-1 currently for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Back to Churchill Downs in a moment. Back for the Breeders' Cup Classic and part of the 3-horse entry, #1, Awesome Again, and Pat Day. Unbeaten this year for Pat Byrne, including a Churchill Downs victory over Silver Charm, though he was getting 14 pounds that day. The 1X is Touch Gold. Chris McCarron up, last year's Belmont Stakes winner, but then beaten 37 lengths in the Classic last year. Raced only 3 times this year, lost his last 2, but Byrne still has confidence in him. #2 is Victory Gallop, this year's Belmont winner, after running second to Real Quiet in the Derby and Preakness. Elliott Walden holds out hopes of a championship for this colt. He'll be running late. #3 is Swain, Europe's best. Back-to-back Group 1 wins his last 2 starts in England, and he ran Silver Charm to a nose on the dirt in Dubai back in March. He retires to stud here in Kentucky after this race. The Maktoums, his owners, would love to say world's best about this horse. #4 is Arch, the late developing 3-year-old in the Claiborne colors with Frank Brothers, jockey Shane Sutters. He's won 5 of 6 lifetime starts, impressively beat Touch Gold at Keeneland. #5 is Skip Away, and Carolyn Hine tears up frequently these days, thinking of losing him. Syndicated for $18 million, retires to stud at Hope-Mott after today. Needs $383,000 to pass Cigar for the earnings title. He can get there by finishing in the top 3. 6-horse Running Stag, John Velasquez, a winner already today, replacing regular European jockey Ray Cochran. Minor stakes winner in Europe, came to Belmont Park to finish 3rd in the Woodward, 4th in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. 7 is Silver Charm, and Baffert blames that long trip to Dubai for knocking his colt out for a spell. But by winning there and winning this race, he would have taken a $4 million and a $5 million race this year. And good news, he races again in 1999. And the 8-horse is Gentleman. How game is Dee Hubbard putting up that $800,000? You know, last year Gentleman was probably better than he is this year. Would have been highly regarded when the Classic was run at Hubbard's track, Hollywood Park. Injury cost him a chance, but Hubbard put aside his disappointment, and Hollywood proved to be a fine host last year. He chose the Classic over the mile, and he too is going to stud. And the last horse in the post parade is not in order. That's because he's the bad boy who apparently has finally gotten his act together. 1A is Coronado's Quest, the 3-year-old who really acted up in Florida over the winter but straightened out his act. He could claim the 3-year-old championship with a big run today. He's beaten Victory Gallop twice. 5 3-year-olds, by the way, have won this race, and this is Coronado's last quest. He retires to stud at Claiborne Farm. Well, what a classic. It's a tremendous field, not just the two headliners, Skip Away and Silver Charm. But speaking of headliners, we haven't had many headlines amongst the handicappers today. Tom Hammond, Bob Newmeyer, and the Cybercasters have one winner. Thanks to Buck Boy, Mike now has two.
Well, Tom, yeah, and Buck's Boy ran a huge race, but you know what? This is the one that everybody has been waiting for, the Classic. You said it, a tremendous race, the richest race ever, $5.12 million, and I think the best Classic field ever assembled.
The only blemish on the record of Skip Away was recently held at Belmont Park. It was the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and it was the race where gentlemen with a fresh change of equipment, blinkers on, eventually would run head-and-head with Skip Away for a long portion of this journey. He would put Skip Away on this day in a sea of slop, but he paid his toll as Wagon Limit, trained by the giant killer Alan Jerkins, came from behind and beat them both. But that was the Jockey Club Gold Cup. It really, Mike, is the only bad mark on Skip Away's amazing record this year.
That's right, and that was let's take a look at the virtual layout. I think we'll pick it up on the run down the backstretch. And the last time out, Skip Away and Gentleman hooked up, and I really think that's going to happen again. I think Gentleman and Skip Away are going to be out there fighting for the early lead. Awesome Again's got tactical speed, so does Coronado's Quest, but I don't think Gary Stevens can let Silver Charm fall too far behind, and I think he's going to be in perfect position here.
Let's flip-flop the leaders. I'm looking at Jerry Bailey taking the fight right from the get-go. I'm looking for Gentlemen to back off in second position. They can't afford to get into that ding-dong battle that we had in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Silver Charm and don't forget Swain hanging around.
All right, now, when they move into the turn, here's where the race really heats up. And I think that Gentleman and Skip Away are still going to be there. These are classy horses, but I think Silver Charm is going to join the fray at this point. I think he's going to be on the outside. He's going to be running them down with Awesome Again and Touch Gold, and even Swain maybe getting set for a late run.
Well, I had Coronado's Quest applying some early pressure, but he will succumb by now, and the battle will be joined. Skip Away will maintain the lead. Gentlemen will be in there pitching. Silver Charm and even Swain with a shot in the outside.
And who's going to win the greatest Classic ever? Well, it's a tough call, but I'm giving the edge to Silver Charm. He loves this racetrack. He won the Derby here. I think he can hold off either Awesome Again or Touch Gold, either one of those burn horses, and Skip Away on the outside. So I think it's going to be a great race, but I'm giving the edge to the Silver Charm.
Gray versus Gray. Newmeyer's finish. Skip Away to win it all and rest the Horse of the Year title. Gentleman, a gutsy second. Silver Charm will finish third.
And I think we just heard that Swain threw his rider. Did Swain throw his rider on the racetrack? So he might be acting up just a little bit, Bob.
Well, we'll check that out with Greg a little bit later on. But certainly he is a horse to be reckoned with. We haven't talked too much about Swain.
There he goes right there. There it is right there. There's a shot of Swain, but it wasn't too bad. He just hopped up a little bit, and Frankie Dettori, that's the second time that Frankie's been off of Swain, so maybe he's saying that he doesn't really like this dirt. He has run well on the dirt. The one time that he ran on the dirt at Dubai, it was second by a nose to Silver Charm, but today, I don't know, maybe he's showing that he doesn't really care for the surface.
Hey, Gentleman's a big price on the board, Mike, up there at 8-1. He ran his guts out against Skip Away, put him away in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He's the one that's being overlooked. Swain, again, the Europeans, when they come here.
There's Frankie getting another leg up, and this horse does seem to be a bit fractious out there.
Foreign land, foreign soil, used to running on the grass. Of course, he did run in the dirt in Dubai and ran Silver Charm to a nose, but certainly seems to be a little bit energetic, I guess, to say the least.
And if he does run his race, though, he's one to reckon with. But I still have to go for Silver Charm. Bob's going for Skip Away. Tom?
All right, guys, the Cyber Cappers go for Skip Away, 31% to Silver Charm's 26%. Belmont Stakes winner Victory Gallop comes in at 13% for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Well, while Swain was giving Frankie Dettori some problems out there and tossing the rider off, Skip Away had the same idea. Earlier this week, Skip Away tossed his exercise rider during his morning workout. Here it is Thursday morning. Whoop, off he goes. Now watch Skip Away. He says, you know, something's not right here. He stops, looks back, Are you okay? Hey, you're supposed to be up top. That is a veteran horse.
That's class.
And, of course, Trevor Denman, one of the questions surrounding Skipaway, though, is does he like this Churchill Downs track? Shipped in late, had his major works in New York. The only really bad race in his career was the Kentucky Derby when he was 12th here at Churchill Downs.
Somehow that Kentucky Derby will do that to you, isn't it? It just does amazing things, most unexpected things. The only thing I can say in favor of Skipaway as far as the track goes is that he seems to be working over it very, very powerfully. So I say yes, he does like it. And let's face it, he's the horse you got to beat. He is the champion right now. Silver Charm right behind him, and man, Gentleman, and who knows how we don't have one of those 3-year-olds coming from way out of it and winning. But there's the guy you got to beat, no doubt about it, Skipaway.
Skipaway currently at 2-1. Silver Charm is 5-2. The Breeders' Cup Classic coming up. In the gloaming at Churchill Downs, let's recheck the Breeders' Cup Classic odds. 3-horse entry at 4-1. Victory Gallop at 7. Swain is 6. Arch 20-1. Skipaway 2-1 in the favorite. Running Stag at 99. Silver Charm 5-2, and Gentleman at 9-1. And a Breeders' Cup tradition, Mutton Chops is with Bob Newmeyer.
Well, we're saving Swain for the end, and to pitch his case for Swain, the fine English journalist John McCrarick, he's been with us here on NBC. All right, make your case for Swain in this race.
Dubai March on the dirt. Silver Charm, a nose beat Swain. It's 6-1 Swain on the board, 5-2 Silver Charm. This is trained by Godolphin of Sheikh Mohammed with Saib bin Sarur, the most experienced, the finest operation in world racing. The horse is a champion. He's a gladiator, going out like so many of these warriors battling for the last time. And he will go down only fighting. They will carry Swain out on each
It hasn't been a good day for the Europeans, so John hoping that Swain can turn it around here. Tom?
Going so well. Let's go to Tom Durkin for the call of the Breeders' Cup Classic.
For the richest race ever run, the star-studded classic of 1998. Skipaway is in the gate, and he is the favorite. Arch is about to move into line. Toward the outside, Gentleman and Touch Gold. Touch Gold has taken his position. His outside, it will be Gentleman, who will be ready for the start of this $5 million classic. Gentleman, the last to load into the starting gate. For Nakatani is aloft. We're ready for the start. And they're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And Coronado's Quest is the first away from the gate. Arch was off to a good beginning. Skipaway is in behind Arch in the early stages. Silver Charm is ahead of Skipaway, third. And the outside Gentleman races fourth. As they pass beneath the twin spires for the first time, it is Coronado's Quest to be the pacemaker. Arch is second, and the two grays on the inside, Skipaway on the outside, Derby winner Silver Charm. In behind them at the inside, European Swain. Running Stag is just next to Silver Charm. 2 lengths back on the outside, it's Gentleman. Then a break of 3 to stablemates. Awesome again, and Touch Gold. 7 lengths back to Belmont winner Victory Gallop. He is about a dozen lengths from the lead. The opening quarter goes in 23 and 2/5 seconds. The opening half mile was 47 and 3. It's an honest pace here in the Classic with Coronado's Quest leading the way, prompted by Arch. Skipaway is tucked away on the inside. There appears to be a narrow opening for him, and there he goes. Gary Bailey asking a little bit more from Skipaway. Silver Charm in a good spot on the outside as they approach the far turn. And Gentleman starts his engine as they move for the far turn. He's only 3 lengths from the lead. Swain is in behind horses, then Running Stag. Awesome again on the inside, Touch Gold. And still well behind is Victory Gallop. It is still Coronado's Quest leading this all-star field around the far turn. He's there by a length and a half. Arch is in between horses. Skipaway is still down toward the inside. Here comes Silver Charm. Silver Charm coming with a bull rally on the far outside. Skipaway toward the inside, and Swain is coming with his rally. And farther back it is Awesome again. Victory Gallop is gathering momentum. 1 furlong to go. Coronado's Quest, Silver Charm, and Swain, the 3 of them. Not today for Skipaway. Victory Gallop continues to close. Silver Charm short lead. Here comes Awesome again, who's flying in between horses. A wild finish to the Classic. Awesome again has won. Awesome again is the winner. A 3-way photo for second among Victory Gallop, Silver Charm, and Swain, who went to the far outside. And there is your race winner, Pat Day, with Awesome Again, coming from well off the pace today. Skip Away will not be the all-time money winner, and there is a jubilant Pat Day aboard the winner. Disappointment for Skip Away in the Classic.
Awesome Again, the unsung one. He's unbeaten all year long, and no one talked about him. And Pat Byrne, who last year had 2 Breeders' Cup wins, comes back to win the biggest of them all, the Classic with Awesome Again. Now 6 for 6 in 1998, but no one paid any attention. 6 for 6, including a win over Silver Charm here at Churchill Downs. He returns to the Downs today. A disappointed Bob Baffert. His Silver Charm had dead aim on him, but just couldn't get there. It was Awesome Again and Greg McCarran.
This is unbelievable. Both Chris and Pat Day are just all smiles. Pat, congratulations. That was some kind of race.
That day was Awesome Again. Was Awesome Again. My congratulations, Mr. Stronach and Pat Burns and his crew. They done a tremendous job of orchestrating his coach career this year, picking his spots. Come into the race with nothing but confidence. He went to the gate just like he is right now, totally focused, ready to be at his business, and he kicked hard in the stretch. I'm so proud of him. He ran hard.
Pat, once again, congratulations. Back to you, Tom. No more can be said than that.
All right, Greg McCarran, thank you very much. They were spread all across the racetrack at the finish. Swain nearly at the outside fence. Gentleman is there on the inside. Silver Charm's in the middle of the track. And here comes Awesome Again. Awesome Again under the guidance of the all-time Churchill Downs leading rider, Pat Day. Pat Day getting into his horse with the left-hand whip. And it's Awesome Again that charges up between them. And as they come to the finish line in the richest race of the world, it is Awesome Again that takes home the trophy. Byrne. A lot of people questioned his wisdom when he gave up Favorite Trick and Countess Diana, his 2 Breeders' Cup winners from a year ago. Especially Favorite Trick, who had been Horse of the Year, gave them up to become the private trainer for Frank Stronach. There was so much animosity that when Favorite Trick got his award as Horse of the Year, the owners didn't even invite Patrick Byrne to the ceremony. His daughter, Devin, is in heaven with Awesome Again's win in the Breeders' Cup Classic. As we said earlier, how sweet it is for his wife Jill, his daughter Devin, and backed up by 5 generations of horsemen, Patrick Byrne and Pat Day, who is already the leading Breeders' Cup rider, gets his 10th win and his 3rd in the Classic. Let's go to Mike Battaglia.
With Gary Stevens, and Gary, gallant effort by Silver Charm, and you were telling me that you saw Swain coming on the outside, and you know Silver Charm likes to see the horses that he's running against.
Right, Swain was extremely wide when he got by me. He actually got by us at one point, so I moved Silver Charm out next to him because he loves the competition, and as we moved out, it gave Awesome Again somewhere to run, and I don't think that Silver Charm really even saw him until it was too late, and I don't know, it was a great race. I can't make any excuses. He ran a heck of a horse race.
We really did. He gave a valiant effort and just came up a length short, and Tom, back to you.
All right, Mike, and it was a wild finish. Horses spread all the way across the track. Trevor, what happened?
Well, I think undoubtedly the unluckiest loser is Swain, and I'm going to... Here we see Awesome Again right here, but undoubtedly an unlucky loser would be Swain. Let's take a look at him. He's in the blue colors on the outside. Right here, you see the blue cap of Swain on the extreme outside. You see Silver Charm the gray. Now watch Swain. He's coming to win this. He's all on his own. Now he gets a hit. He doesn't like it. He gets hit again. He starts shifting. The jockey doesn't eve up. He just keeps on hitting him. And Swain says, hey, I've had enough of this. I'm not going to compete under these circumstances. And you see every time he hits him, he goes further and further out. And just look where he finished up. I've never seen a horse finish that far out. Swain was the best horse in the race. Unfortunately, the whip cost him the Breeders' Cup.
Let's go down to Bob Newmont.
With Jerry Bailey, Skip Away. You knew you were in trouble early on, didn't you, Jerry?
I really did. He simply cannot handle the surface. He's good when I can restrain him and keep him collected, but as soon as I have to ride him and give him his head a little bit, he just flounders on it.
You were in a comfortable spot on the inside, maybe not exactly where you wanted to be, but in striking range down the backside, Jerry.
Exactly. And, you know, if I had my rudders, I would have gone around, but I did have a hole to run through had he been able to get to it. He just simply couldn't get to it.
All right, the scenario would have been had Silver Charm won, a lot of sentiment for him for Horse of the Year. Now a new shooter, Awesome Again, to Skippy still deserve it?
Well, I think he deserved it before he got here, but I think definitely now that there's no other clear-cut horse, what he's accomplished is amazing this year.
All right, Jerry Bailey on Skip Away. Tom Hammond?
All right, Bob, awesome again, and Pat Day ready for the winner's circle photo as Skip Away answered the question about whether or not he liked the Churchill Downs service. Obviously did not. In fact, Mike Smith, when I saw that he didn't have the lead, or at least close to it, I knew that he maybe was not handling the track that well.
It sure seemed that way. I mean, in the Derby, he already kind of proved that he didn't like it, and of course, he wasn't up there. And the way he'd been training so aggressively, you thought he'd been up there when he wasn't. Well, evidently couldn't handle the racetrack.
Now, Mike, you made a brilliant observation about Pat Day and his ride on Awesome Again.
He rode a great race. I tell you what happened there with Swain was that if you remember back in the Dubai World Cup when Swain come up next to Silver Charm, and Silver Charm dug back in and beat Swain. What the jock was trying to do was run by him and get away from him at the same time. He just got a little bit too far away from him. And Gary was trying to follow him out to keep competition. He said perfect. The gates just opened up to Pat then, and Pat, as patient as he is, he just sat there and just asked him when it was time and just got right on through. It's a great ride.
All right, Awesome Again. We'll be back with a presentation from Churchill Downs. But first, back to Dan Again, heading back to the stable area after winning the world's richest race, the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. He paid $11.40, $4.60, and $3. Silver Charm second. Swain on the outside fence ran third. 1-7 exacta, 32.20. And for the presentation, let's go to Mike Battaglia.
And the winner of the greatest horse race of the year is a great horse. Awesome Again. And here to make the presentation, the governor of Kentucky, the Honorable Paul E. Patton. He's going to make the presentation to Mr. Frank Stronach.
Certainly, Frank, an awesome ride, an awesome horse with an awesome jockey, an awesome day.
Okay. And just an average guy.
Heavy trophy, too.
All right. Pat Byrne, we got to talk to Pat Byrne and Pat Day very quickly. Pat, what a job you've done with this horse. He's undefeated now this year, and you think can make a case for Horse of the Year.
Definitely, you know, he's had a perfect year. He's 6'6". He beat the best horses in the world today, and he has done nothing wrong for us. And I think he's definitely should be considered for Horse of the Year. He's a wonderful animal, and maybe I made a big mistake the first part of the year, underestimating him a little bit. You know, we have a beautiful horse like Touch Gold come into the barn, and you know, we expect great things from him, and unfortunately he's turned out a little disappointment. But Awesome Again, he's just a truly magnificent animal, and Mr. Stronach bred him, and Andy bred this horse, and I'm just happy to look back on my year from last year, and it's unbelievable I'm here standing here with these people. I'm just so happy to be in the position I'm in.
Great job, Pat. We're running out of time. Congratulations to Pat Day. Tom?
All right, Mike. Awesome Again, a 4-year-old colt by Deputy Minister from Primal Force by Blushing Groom, a Canadian bred by his owner, Frank Stronach. Awesome Again in the Classic. Back with final thoughts in a moment.